to take a moment and thank the Attorney General because he fights for this thing. I've been working with him now for over a year, and I know it's hard. I've talked to him, and he really pushes this agenda. And I love that he's getting behind this, and these conferences are going to be all over the state because I do believe that this is the answer. I was a 12-year drug addict. 12-year drug addict. I was a heroin addict. I was overdosed, almost dead, a little over 3 years ago. And on March the 1st of 2014, I met Jesus Christ and he transformed my whole entire life.
Yeah.
With that, I joined Eddie James Ministries. I've traveled everywhere with him, and God has brought me back to the region I grew up in. I grew up in Beckley, and we are here, and I know there's a mandate for our life. To fight this, I know that he's given us strategies from heaven, and I know that together, as a group of people, we can defeat this. I have no doubt of that in my mind. Dude, I was hopeless, with no hope whatsoever. I had this void inside of me. And then once I met the one who created me, it changed everything in my life. So I know that it's the answer to this problem. I didn't even believe in God, and I had an encounter with him that forever changed me. So what we're going to do today, we're located here in Parkersburg. We have another base in McConnellsville, Ohio, and we'll explain to you guys throughout this presentation what all we do. You'll kind of get an idea, because I believe that it's our job to go out and change this problem. So I was reading this not too long ago, and this is kind of the vision for this whole entire presentation. And in Jeremiah 29:7, it says, "But seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you. For in its welfare you will find your welfare." This tells me this one thing, because if you know the context of what this means, this was God speaking to priests that had been exiled. They were in Babylon. And this is what he's telling them. This is where I placed you. Now you have a job to do. I placed you there. Your job is to make your region and your community my region and my community. He gives us this assignment on our life. And I'm reading this, and this is what hits me. This is our job, guys. This is all of us together.
Come on.
As a body of people. And there's strategies that God's given us to fight this. And this next slide, this is transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So this is what I get from that. That scripture changed my life personally when I was overcoming my addiction. But think about this. We have to start changing the way we approach this drug problem. We can no longer sit back and wait for people to come to us for help. We have to change the way we think when we are attacking this problem. We have to come up with new strategies. We have to be sensitive to his voice and understand that he has a plan. We can sit here and reason all day, but if we're not listening to him, we're not going to make much headway.
Right?
We're going to keep running in circles. We're going to keep seeing overdoses. But what we have to do is this. We have to take a moment, and we have to stop. And we have to say, God, what is your plan? What is your strategy? Give me your wisdom from heaven. I don't know the answer. Tim Kraft does not know the answer, but Tim Kraft knows the voice of his Father.
Amen.
So give him the answer to fight this problem.
Amen.
So that's what we have to do. So we have to change the way we think. I can no longer look at a drug addict and think, oh, wow, they're worthless. This is what I have to do. I have to look at them through the lens of God. When I look at them through the lens of God, this is what happens. I look at them and I can look past their issues. I can look past their struggle. And I can see who God says that they are. Because that's not who they are. Once they do what 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, and step into that new identity, they are now sons and daughters. So I have to be able to view them that way. I have to look past what they're struggling with and see the person there. So I can't lose my heart and allow this to get heavy as I do this. I have to always view them the way God does. One of the things we've noticed to be very effective as we're doing this is love. That's a picture of a girl who was addicted. That's the day she got baptized. She was addicted for several years. And the Bible even tells us, greater love has no one than this. To lay down one's life. It's not about us. When we stop, because we all have a life, we all have problems, we all have issues we deal with daily, but the moment we can take ourselves out of the equation and become selfless, we can begin to fight this problem properly. When we say this, it's not about me, It has nothing to do with me. Yes, I have problems, but you know how I can get over that problem? Helping somebody else with their problem.
Come on.
Yep.
And that has to be our mindset. It has to be the way we approach this. Man, it's awesome. The love that covers a multitude of sins. The real love of God. I have noticed break down barriers in people who were addicted. Simply loving them. Simply loving them through their hard times. Can we do this? Can we walk with people through this? Can we walk with them and say, okay, I know you've had a hard time. I know stuff is hard. But here, man, I will walk with you through every struggle that you have. Are we selfless enough to do that as a community? This is what it's going to take. So we have this awesome thing. Chief Joe hit on it for a moment. It's called the Freedom Project. And it's a collaboration between the community, law enforcement, first responders, and even emergency rooms. And the goal is to intervene when there's crisis, when there's overdose, when first responders come across someone who's addicted, we intervene. We've been doing this now for about 1.5 years on a small scale. I just had a meeting with Chief Joe, and we're actually going to try it with the Parkersburg Police Department. I just had a meeting with the Washington County Sheriff's Department. They want to adopt this along with their chaplains program. I've been doing this with the Belfry City Police now for over a year. And some of the stories are just going to blow your mind when you hear them. Because here's the thing. The lady talked about them getting arrested, going to jail, getting right out. It's the same concept with an overdose. So on overdoses, they get unstable, they release them. It's not their fault. That's what they do. We have to come up with a plan to be there in that moment. We have to come up with strategies so that we can intervene when that moment comes. Because imagine this. Go to the next slide. I'm going to tell you a story. There's a guy. This was on April 23rd. This is Quentin Ramirez. I had just taught an addiction class at the Warehouse Church. Left there, got a phone call from Mike Stump from the Belfry City Police. He said, I have a guy here who I just arrested. He's addicted, and he's willing to talk to you. Me and my friend Chris Pickens go over to the police department. We intervene. We pray for him. I tell him this. I know where you're at. I've been there. I know how you feel. I've been there. I know you feel hopeless, because I felt hopeless. But there is a way out. Let me show you that way out. We prayed for him, and he followed up with us right after that. This is him getting baptized a couple of weeks ago, too. He has completely transformed his whole entire life. He has found freedom in places he never knew existed. This is what he told me. When you guys prayed for me, I got a feeling that drugs never gave me. It filled that void that I was always trying to fill with drugs. This is what he told me, and that was my experience. When I'm laying there withdrawing, I felt something, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's freedom. I felt that freedom on March the 1st of 2014, and the void I was always trying to fill with the drugs, I found it there. And it made sense, and he experienced the same thing. So we intervene in these moments. We go over to the police department. I've been to the emergency room where someone had just overdosed and died, and they brought them back to life. And so we've been working closely with the Belfry City Police. And then after that, this is what we have to be willing to do. Going to the next one. This is a class. This is Clinton at a class we have once a week we were doing at the Warehouse Church. It was an 8-week small group class, which actually grew into 20-some people. So we're going to continue it actually today at the Parkersburg City Park at 6 o'clock. Anybody's welcome. Bring your friends. Let's learn together as a community, because we have to be willing to educate the community while helping people overcome. It's a family. The video that Pastor Greg showed of the connection, the heart connection, that's key. They need that connection. They need that rat heart, if you will, in real life. So we need to live in community. We build a community as people that's overcame, and then what happens is they start helping people overcome, and then they start helping more people overcome, because this is what I do know, transformed people can help transform people. Transformed people can help transform a city. Transformed cities can help transform a state.
Come on.
Transformed states can help transform a nation.
Yep.
This has to be our mindset. This has to be what we do. We have to know that we hold that key to freedom. What we hold inside of us, that Holy Spirit, is the key to freedom to so many people's life. And we can't be afraid to do it. We have to be bold going out, Because man, this is awesome. But the assignment's out there. We have to be willing. Like, who in here is willing? I want my community to change. I'm willing to do things to make my community change. I'm willing to go that extra effort. I'm willing to go out when it's uncomfortable. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, I am willing to go do it. Who would say? That's what it takes, guys. We can do this together. It's not just us, it's all of us. So we have to come together in moments like this, come up with strategies, connect, and then push forward. And then what we see is restoration. This is his mom and him at the last class that we had the other day at the Warehouse Church. That's an awesome picture. This guy was addicted for 7 years. And that's him and his mom in a very special moment where you're seeing God restore a relationship that had been burned. Because that's what happened. But God is the master of restoration. And you see it right there in this picture. It says a lot. All right, this next girl, named Julia Tree, January the 10th of this past year, I just happened to be in town for a funeral of a friend. And he passed away from overdose. So Max and myself were there, and we got a call from Mike's son that he said, "There's a girl that just overdosed. Can you rush over to the emergency room?" We rushed over to the Belfry ER area, the memorial, and we walk into this room, and it's that room that's real open, right in the middle. They had just revived her. She died. They Narcaned her, brought her back to life. And the same thing happened. We prayed with her, and we actually were able to help her overcome. She had no withdrawal from heroin. God really just touched her in that moment. Now, unfortunately, it violated her probation. So, she overdosed. She was on probation. So she had to go away for a minute. But I want you to read part of this thing I was just thinking not too long ago. My life was forever changed January 10th when God sent you three into that hospital room. I am so grateful for you. Even after all the hurt and disappointment I put him through, his love was so strong for us, and he gave me a second chance to live. Now, I want you to think, what if there wasn't someone there in that moment? What would be the outcome of this situation? Now, what if we expanded these efforts to reach more people like this? I believe that this is a strategy that God has given us to be able to change people's lives and intervene in that moment of crisis. And it's something that we want to structure and expand to communities. We want to offer this to different communities, churches. We want to train people from the church to go out in these moments. So we are now structuring all this together so that every community and first response team can have this available. Because I believe this is something that will make a huge difference in a lot of people's lives. This is 2 cases that we've been out probably 10 times. This is 2 stories out of those. And that's a few different people doing it. That's not on a big scale. So what would happen if we expanded it? Man, I think the possibilities for this are amazing. I think that this is something that we can really structure and we can offer to communities all across the state. I don't think it should only happen in Parkersburg or Belfry or with Wood County. I think it's something that the whole state could adopt. And this is going to be an awesome effort. So as we come across these people, a lot of times we can't personally take them into our ministry. So we have to send them somewhere. So we're partnered with other ministries, one being the Love Lady Center in Birmingham, Alabama. This is one girl, where's Sandra Walker? This is her friend right here. She contacted us, and we were able to get this girl down to there, and she's still there, doing great. And Road to Redemption, like the pieces are falling into place. The lady pictured beside her with a high nose shirt on is Tony Smith. She started a ministry called Road to Redemption. What does Road to Redemption do? It transports people to treatment. How important is that? How needed is that? For her to say, you know what? I'm willing to drive these girls down here. But sometimes it's not always the funnest thing to be 9.5 hours in the car with some girls overcoming the early stages of addiction. So I commend her very, very much. She's right back there. Raise your hands, Sonny. I commend young girls.
May I have a helper?
That is not a good job. Last time she went down, she had four girls in the car with her. That's tough. So something else we do inside the Freedom Project is we try to raise funds for scholarships. So it's not expensive to pay this program, but they do ask that the girls pay $500 the first month, and then the rest of their 9 months is free because they end up working inside the ministry. So we have a scholarship program where we try to raise these funds, and like Bobby and Pastor Janet Rasher, we have raised them every time. I think that there's a good possibility we're even taking another girl down this weekend. So we're seeing people set free. We're seeing things happen that are awesome. Now, inside of our ministry, we have a discipleship recovery program called New Creation. We haven't opened the doors on it yet. We are still We are still in the process of fixing the building. We're still trying to get things together. So we are remodeling. We have several guys that are working on that. The building is located in McConnellsville, Ohio. It'll be a 13-month residential program that we have developed. It's a 5-phase system that the residents will walk through. We will be teaching them identity in Christ. We'll be teaching them practical skills that they can take with them after the program ends. We'll be teaching them how to sustain that freedom once they leave us. We're even going to help them transition once they do leave us. So we have 2 properties there. We have the facility that you see here. This is the inside as we are remodeling it. We ran into a couple problems. We have 75 sprinkler heads that need repaired before we can actually open the building. And they're about $62 a piece, I believe, Jamie. So Morgan County United Ministries has did this. They have purchased this building for us to run our program out of, which is awesome because we are finding partnerships that are enabling us to actually house people, and they can come and live with us. And it's going to be awesome. That's the building. So we can probably house at its max 15 to 20 guys. We're shooting for July, possibly August to get to this. We're hoping that, we're funded strictly off of donations. We don't, so we go as we can. So, we're funded by believers, churches that sponsor us monthly. That's how Hounds of Ministries operates. We don't pull grants or anything else at this point. We are strictly running off of donations. So, if you guys want to connect with us after about that, we'll be over at our table. Now, another thing that we can do as a community, go ahead, is weekly addiction classes. There's a curriculum that I'm going to be implementing into my program, and it's actually, they have a table set up for it back there. It's called Walking the 12 Steps with Jesus Christ. We've been doing this class for 8 weeks at the warehouse, and we've noticed amazing things happen. People come that are 3-4 days off of drugs, mothers that's lost their kids, family members of other addicts are coming to this class. And what's happening is they're finding a sense of family. We, as a church, need to have our doors open so that people can find that sense of family. My church, Downtown Bethel, for example, they open their doors every day for anybody that wants to come in and pray whatever you need. You need food, come in. You need prayer, come in. And I believe that that's our assignment. We're supposed to help the community where we live. Because I know that, like the gentleman in the back said, I don't really know what to do. I don't know where to even start. Well, sir, one of the things we do in Highland Hope Ministries is we go around to other churches and we share what we do, and we actually will raise the awareness. I think we're all aware there's a problem. It's not the awareness, but we bring the solution. Let me say it like that. We bring the solution to the problem, and the solution is meeting the one who created you. Because here's what happens. See, my sobriety is a byproduct of me having a relationship with Him. That's what keeps me sober. It's nothing but that. The more I know Him, the less I need that. The more He fills that void, I never have to go back. That rhymes, didn't it? I should write it. I have to, so this is what we have to do. We have to become the type of people that say this, I'm here, and we have to make ourselves available. We have to, so if you want to start these classes in your church, Look into that curriculum right there. It's amazing. And it even comes with a facilitator's guide. If you don't know a lot about addiction, take that facilitator's guide and kind of let that lead you. And because almost every church has people who's overcoming addictions in it. Almost every church has people that don't know what to do. Let's open our churches. Let's start holding these weekly meetings at several churches across this region. Let's not make it a one church thing. Connect them with us. Connect them to we're going to start having a class once a week at City Park. Connect them somewhere where they can be with other people who can lead them in the right direction, who can show them how to overcome an addiction and how to walk it out, and is willing to walk with them through that process. All right, we had this thing in April, and Pastor Greg Delaney was there, Attorney General Morrissey was there, Chief Joe was there, Sheriff Stevens was there, and Hound of the Movement. The idea behind this was nothing more than this. Well, we had a few things behind it. We wanted to unite the community. We wanted to bring together churches with treatment centers. We wanted to bring together the law enforcement, even state officials, and we wanted to see what we could do all together to work as one, with the same goal. So as this was going, we had some awesome stuff happen since then. This is Patrick Morrissey and myself. He came and spoke at it. But the idea behind it was this. Let's all get together and strategize. Let's all come together and see what we can do together to come up with ideas. This is you remember that picture? This is me and Sheriff Steve Stevens. I love that man's heart so much, guys. I'm telling you, we are blessed to have him as our sheriff. I really. We even had worship because we want to release that freedom. I believe there's power in prayer. I believe there's power in reclaiming territory. I believe there's power in what we release over our community. So we was at Parkersburg High School football stadium releasing freedom in the air. And this is something, we even brought things like the heroin hurt. Because we just wanted to bring everything we could together and unite. Because it's not about one organization. It's a group. It's a body effort. The body of Christ. It's our job together. Everyone can have an assignment. Everyone in this room can do something to help fight this problem. So the whole idea behind it was just that. We want to unite the community. I feel like it was awesome. It's something we'll do in the future. It's something that High on Hope has actually been asked to do. Even in Pennsylvania, they reached out. We were up there this past weekend. I did the same presentation there because communities want this to change. They just don't know how sometimes. So we have to all come together. So you're asking, how can I help? How can I help? Well, each church needs to have that addiction specialist like we talked about earlier. Each church needs to have that one person that their job and their assignment, we call it a liaison. Their assignment is this, to connect resources, to find out where they can go to meetings, to actually maybe even hold classes at your church and make it available to your congregation once a week, that specialize in addiction, that specialize even in family healing. Because a lot of times what happens is this, the family is just as broken as the addict. The enabling is set in. We need to have groups of people that will help the heart skill of the family members also. This is something we can't forget. Have the classes at your church. Offer the classes. Find someone who burns to do this. I tell you what, if you find somebody who overcame, they're going to burn to want to show other people how to overcome the same thing. Get connected with us, and when we have the Freedom Project training, announce it at your church. See if there's people that want to get involved. See if there's people that want to come and get trained to be able to go out and intervene in these moments. Because this thing is going to take a group effort. Like, who would like to be a part of that Freedom Project training? Who would like to go out and intervene in the moment? And again, it don't have to be every single person. It don't have to be everybody, but there has to be some people who are called to go out and release freedom and give hope in that hopeless moment. That's what we have to do. Join the High on Hope movement because it's all of us together. When we have our next event and when we have other events, let's all do it together. Let's all be there as a community, fighting as one. I mean, I think that God has really given us some strategies in the Middle Ohio Valley that are working. I honestly believe that we can actually be trendsetters. We can learn from Pastor Greg Delaney what they're doing in Ohio. It's amazing. The networking this man does is amazing. We need to be in that same mindset. What can I do to help? We always have to stay in that mindset every day. Stop looking inward. What can I do to help? What can I do to help this other person? What can I do to change someone's life? Man, I want to release freedom everywhere I go. Bill Johnson said this: if something that big gets to something this small, I should sprinkle a link every place that I go to. So that means every person I come in contact with should know what freedom is, man. All right. Help the local ministries that are fighting this. If you don't, have a church to open, you want to be a part somehow, give to the ones that are fighting this. There's something you can do. Sponsor a resident throughout their whole program. Ask someone, how much does it cost, monthly for you to keep that person? Sponsor them. Help what's already going on. You can actually become a part. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. All we got to do is start coming together. What can I do to help this ministry? What can I do to help that person? So this is something that we really need to work on and come together. So I would love for you guys to connect with us. You can actually connect with us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Just connect with us. Stay updated on what we're doing. We move a lot. We travel a lot. We do a lot of different things. And we would love to have you be a part of what we're doing. So I'm going to now invite him up, and he's going to say a couple words before we go to lunch. This is the organization that's actually sponsoring our lunch. So if we can give a hand, please.
My name is Larry Couch. I'm the Woods County Commissioner. 10 years ago, we were instructed our community corrections program with the high cost of drugs. And best plans are always borrowed. So my method of URT program is really what we did. We put in a tabletop urinalysis machine. That machine, they used to cut their expenses very heavily. So we went one step further and founded the West Virginia Drug Testing Laboratory. The only reason I got involved with that was I was placed on the community corrections board of directors. But finding the problem and then fixing it. So now we're offering our drug treatment services far and wide. We're actually becoming profitable, where all those profits roll back into the county. And this year, we gave back $269,000. Help fund those people that work in our mandated community corrections program, which has case management and group sessions. And those people don't want to be with us. But over the course of 12 months to 14 months, we find that we save lives. If we get one person not to do heroin, give it up. And the mantra that I use is trust but verify. In all your programs, all your interactions, and I hate to say it, but addicts are very good at being truthful. Oh, yeah, of course. Some people they get like a degree in some kind. And so that's where the whole drug testing laboratory has become so much more important. Be able to test it. That mother in Belkria, Ohio, who lost her son, a high school senior, to a heroin overdose. She knew there was and he was her little boy, and she trusted him. And I can promise you, my two sons, 15 and 17, are sick and tired of getting pee tested by me. Now, like Tim Herring, who's a great motivational speaker, I don't monitor him. But I think he might have and when my wife asked why, I said, trust but verify. I think my kids are great, but for the cost of about $10, I can kind of be a little more trustworthy when the one boy snuck out. And he went to visit a young lady, but I wasn't sure. Wasn't sneaking out. And that goes for adults. So if people join the programs, we have one lady at the PRC who wanted to get tested every single day. Every day. Because she knew she was getting tested, she wouldn't. Now, it was very expensive after about 2 months. So we just kind of let her get some tests every now and again and just regularly stay tested time. day saver. So there is some resources that are the most exciting accomplishment right now is that when Presley Ridge decided to leave White Oak Village Mountain Park, a county park, that we focused on finding someone to come in and offer more beds than we could. We were lucky enough to find just happenstance with the Lions Treatment Center out of Florida. They flew up the next day.
Get a cough drop.
So they're there now, and they're painting and cleaning and getting ready to offer services. They're opening up the farm areas now. They'll all go on. But I think it's about 3 months. You might have about 100 beds available for additional recovery here in your local community. So, as part of our nonprofit mission at the Drug Laboratory, we'd like you people a lifeline. And hopefully, you can go to our resource tables. But if you have need for us, all the money stays here. And so, being a nonprofit, I don't get paid a penny out of it because every day we get up and do good work, right? So we continue to do our good work. We're so glad this week in 162 people here. And I hope the next couple of years, I'll buy you.
And bless the food before we dismiss for lunch. So let's just give them some honor right now. But one thing real quick, guys, let's work together as a community and come together and do this thing. We're capable of it. We all have greatness inside of us. So let's ignite that and push forward, okay? Here we go. So Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for every good thing that you do in our lives. Father, we just ask that you would bless the food and that you would just bless the hands that prepared it. May it be nourishment to our body. And God, we thank you for strategies from heaven that you give us to push forward. We thank you for the freedom that the Mid-Ohio Valley will see. So we just declare and we decree right now that this Mid-Ohio Valley belongs to you. And we thank you for who you are. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I told her, Chris.